Well, as we celebrate our nation's independence, many may be surprised to learn that a Revolutionary War battle actually took place right here in Arkansas. Channel 7's Andrew Mobley was quite enthusiastic to learn about Colbert's Raid, and he joins us tonight in studio with the history. Andrew.
The Battle of Arkansas Post, or Colbert's Raid, is considered the last land battle of the American Revolutionary War.
Definitely a forgotten portion of Arkansas history. I think part of it is, as we look at the American Revolution, we tend to, as Americans, think, well, these are mostly East Coast engagements.
Midway through the War for Independence, the Spanish had allied with America. At the time, Arkansas was part of Spain under its governor in New Orleans.
We don't think of how important allies are to that colonial cause. You know, France is an ally of that cause. Spain is an ally of that cause. The Dutch are also helping. And it speaks to this being the edge of empires where we are here.
In the year leading up to the battle in 1783, Spanish forces had worn down the British in multiple engagements in the lower Mississippi region, capturing many of their soldiers. Both sides had native tribes for allies, the Chickasaw supporting the British, the Quapaw the Spanish. British Captain James Colbert, who had married into the Chickasaw tribe, made it his mission to disrupt Spanish trade. Colbert graciously agreed to return from the dead for an interview with Channel 7.
We set up an encampment across the Mississippi River, and from that encampment we raided Spanish shipping that was coming up the Arkansas River, and we captured a lot of trade goods, cotton, foodstuffs, alcohol, arms, ammunition. We took some prisoners that we used to help try to exchange for British prisoners that were held by the Spanish. But I felt that that wasn't enough.
Standing in Colbert's way was Arkansas Post, a village near the confluence of the Arkansas and Mississippi rivers where the Spanish had a fort. So, in the early morning hours of April 17, 1783, Colbert and his band of roughly 80 British soldiers, militiamen, and a dozen Chickasaw warriors attacked. Villagers fled into the woods or into the fort, where Spaniards, nearly 40 strong, including some Quapaw, defended the walls.
Unbeknownst to me, unfortunately, for our side, the Spanish had reinforced the fort just a few months prior to the attack. I was not aware of that, so they were able to put up a very stout defense. Their cannons, like this one right here that they had in the fort, fired 200-300 shots at us.
At 9 a.m., Colbert sent a Spanish hostage, the wife of their second-in-command, to the fort with a letter demanding their surrender. Instead, the Spanish decided in a last-ditch effort to send 10 soldiers and 4 Quapaw warriors charging out the front gate hollering like they were all natives. And miraculously, it worked. Colbert's forces, though far outnumbering them, fled in confusion, hopping in their boats and getting away down the Arkansas River. The total casualties of the battle? 3 deaths, 2 wounded, and 1 stubbed toe. And the battle needn't have happened at all because, unbeknownst to Colbert, Spain and Britain had already signed a peace treaty.
So I wasn't aware of that.
Colbert was so upset at his defeat at Arkansas Post that earlier today he attempted to take Little Rock. As for Arkansas Post, it's less than 2 hours from Little Rock in a beautiful bayou where the National Park Service has a very cool little museum.
It's Arkansas very much as you might have seen it in 1686 or 1819 when it's the capital of the territory.
Funny thing is, there weren't many more combatants in the Battle of Arkansas Post than that Little Rock skirmish you just saw. On the American side, despite the red, I'm Andrew Mobley.